Welcome to the Youth POV podcast with Ty Castillo
and Lily Johnson.
Our goal is to help youth know God and make Him known while living in a messy world. Join us as we discuss various topics like walking with Jesus, sharing your faith, trials and temptations, and so much more, all from a youth perspective.
So let's go.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back, or welcome to the Youth POV podcast. I'm Ty.
I'm Lily, and we're so glad you're tuning in with us today. And as always, Lauren, she's smiling at us right there. Thanks for being our producer, getting everything.
You know, there's also another
working.
name we have for her, Lorenda.
Lorenda, I'm so sorry.
Lorenda.
I called you by the wrong name.
Where did that come from again?
My amazing brain.
Wow.
Actually, I think it was my friend's name.
What?
I don't think it was you.
No, it was me. I just started calling you Lorenda one day.
Yeah. Well, it's a great name. It's much better than Lauren. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I was gonna say something. I forgot.
That's all right.
Anyways,
we forget things.
It's been a while since it's just been us.
Yeah,
in
I know. Yeah, we had
here.
Ben on the past two, and then we had Caden on the last one, which was really good. So if you guys haven't listened to it, go and listen to it. It was a very, very good conversation, I think, at least.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang,
Dude,
it's already
summer,
the end of May. Yeah.
Bro, dude, and then you think of it, camp is coming up. Camp.
I
Lake
always have
Geneva.
it's always like 2
what?
days before camp, and I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be in 2 days because it goes by
I
so
know.
fast. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro.
Dude, we still got 2 months.
No, yeah, we still have a while,
So-
but it's like always the day before camp. I'm like, once I wake up
Yeah.
tomorrow, there's no going back. It's camp, and
I
then it's gonna
know.
go by so fast. And then,
Dude, and then you always have the dream that you don't bring anything to camp.
oh yeah.
Or that you forget something, you bring it to camp.
Or you miss the bus, or
Right.
I literally had to so I babysit on Wednesdays, and
Yep.
I have to be there at 7, so I have to get up at 6 or something, and I literally had a dream that night that I woke up at 8:30, and I was freaking out, and then I ended up waking up and it was fine, but
Yeah.
I had a dream that I was late, and it's scary because it's always those dreams that seem like they're actually real,
Yep.
and
yep.
it's crazy. It's scary, but yeah. Anyways,
Dude, it's no, but it's so real. It's just man, camp coming up. I'm so excited to see what God's going to do at camp this year.
nothing wasted. That's the theme, I think.
Nothing wasted, is it?
I think so.
Oh, man. And then we got this, traveling evangelist that's coming, and I don't...
To camp to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a post about that. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name.
I don't remember either. But
Is it Trevor? I think it's Trevor something.
something like that. But he spoke at Pastor's Kids Retreat last year.
Oh, was he good?
Yeah, he's really good.
That's good.
He reminds me of, The Rock with curly hair.
Oh, interesting.
He's a big guy. He's jacked. No, but
The Rock with curly hair.
that's, I don't know. A lot of people do that comparison, and I kind of think it's really accurate. But, yeah. So what other summer plans you got, Lily?
Well, kids camp.
Oh, man. Kids camp.
I'm excited for that.
Isn't that only 2 weeks away?
Yeah, so this weekend's Blessing in the Bikes.
Yep.
And then the week after that, we have the kids camp meeting.
Yep.
And then the next week, so 3 weeks about it's kids camp. I think, 3 weeks from tomorrow. From the day we're recording this, 3 weeks from tomorrow, it'll be.
Dude, that's that's
2
coming up
weeks?
so fast.
Oh, Laura says 2 weeks. No, it is 2 weeks because next week and then the week after. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Florenda.
But it's going to be so much fun. I always love going there and seeing the kids worshiping.
I know, it's so cute.
Yeah, and just,
Especially those ones who are actually they understand it,
Right.
And
at such a young age too. It's really powerful and seeing you think that there's an age limit, right? Where
Yeah.
you're okay, you have to make a decision. There's no I don't want to say it's you have to be a certain age till you can accept Jesus in your life. That's not
Or you can be used by Jesus, and
right.
no, if you understand it.
I think there's
You
a
understand
moment where
it.
you realize there's that moment of realization, and some people get it when they're really young, some people get it when they're older.
Or just an age where you comprehend who Jesus actually is, what
Right.
he actually did for you, just the whole concept of it.
Yep.
Because sometimes you're too young and you don't you might grow up knowing Jesus, but you might not understand fully. But
Right.
obviously he knows that, but yeah, it's cool to see those kids who actually understand it, worship, and just knowing that us going as
Yep.
CITs and whatever,
Right.
just the power that we hold and how we lead by example and stuff like that.
Right, because some of them, I think a lot of them actually are going to walk away, and at one point they're going to fall into the world.
Yeah.
And they're going to figure out about the world, And then
if they haven't already.
right.
Yeah.
And then when what's gonna like happen, you know, is the seeds we plant now in their life, right? What they remember, that's gonna influence if they give their life to Jesus in the future. And because I probably gave my life to Jesus like 6 times when I was younger.
No, yeah.
Different kids'
My
camps.
first year at camp is when I first gave my life to Jesus, like ever.
Right.
I was like going to 4th grade, I think. So.
Right. And I mean, like, not saying that you can be, it can't be genuine, but
like I said, like there's like as a child you can
Right.
only understand Jesus to a
Right.
certain level for the most part.
right. It's kind of hard to realize the wickedness in the world at such a young age.
Well, especially because most kids are protected from it, you know,
Right.
as their parents do and as they should. So it's
Yeah,
like they don't
yeah.
understand. But yeah,
Yeah. So I
that's
mean,
gonna be so fun.
but once again, it's always good. It's always good to see some of the other CITs, the friends
This
from
is my
camp.
last year being a CIT.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I can be a counselor next year.
Wait, you're gonna be 18 next year?
Yeah, I just realized this. Lauren told me this like not that long ago.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was freaking
Wait,
out.
can you still be a rec team though?
I mean, probably.
Or are you just gonna go for?
Well, I don't know. It depends what next. Well, next year I'll be a senior.
Yeah.
So like I'll be going. So it just depends. I mean, I probably will because
Right. Are you gonna be a CIT or are you gonna be a rec this year?
this year I'm CIT.
CIT? Yeah, same. I was
Oh,
like,
you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was because I signed up for rec, right?
Oh, everyone did. Yeah.
Yeah. I like was kind of like, okay, I want to be rec, but then I was kind of just like, you know what, wherever God's like, okay, if you want me to be a
Just
CIT,
wherever you needed. Yeah.
they'll tell me. So yeah, Pastor Gill and my mom texted me the other day, and they're like, do you want to be a CIT? And I'm like, you know what, whatever, let's
Sure.
do it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So-
There's Anyways.
Cool. I also got my missions trip coming up.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah. That's.
4 weeks, maybe. You know.
Is it the
little
week?
less.
That's the week after kids camp. The weekend
Yeah.
after kids
Ye-
camp.
Yeah. No. It's this. Wait. We get back.
We get back on the 16th, so
And I
about a
leave the
week later.
23rd. Yeah.
So about a week later.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
it's coming.
cool.
I know it's coming up, and it's gonna be super cool. The guys that I'm
Yeah.
going with, and yeah, it's been cool. I got to talk to them a bit, and there's some pretty good guys. They're pretty chill. Connected with a few, but otherwise else, you know, it's good. Like they're all super chill. I love
Yeah.
one of our leaders is Riley Luke, and he's Bobby's son. And he's super chill. Right? He's funny.
Bobby from Youth Alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our other leader, Ben, he is so funny. This guy, we were at the last A meeting, and he's like, what if we referred to him as Rabbi Ben? Because you think about it, right? Like teacher, like
Oh, yeah.
rabbi, pastor, like teacher.
Might
you
as
know
well
what I
just
mean?
call
So,
everybody, like-
just call,
Yeah.
be like Rabbi Ben. What should we do next? Like, doesn't that just sound like?
That'd be funny.
Yeah. So.
We should just start calling like everyone like not Pastor Mike or Pastor Ben, Rabbi Mike,
Right.
Rabbi Ben.
I know, man. I think it's just so funny,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a great time there. We
Yeah.
get along really well. Also about going out, and I'll have a lot of not on my mission trip. Well, okay, on my mission trip too, but I'll have so much more time this summer to go out and hopefully go with some friends to evangelize, share Jesus. Me and Remy, one of my friends went out post-it note evangelizing Sunday.
I want to do that. Like, or I've seen ones where people like write like prayers or like Bible verses on like a note card and then put it on like on a flower
Yeah.
and then put it on someone's car. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's such a good idea.
That's a little more expensive, but it's
Well, yeah, but not
unless
like a
you
whole,
pick-
like
right.
not a whole like bouquet, but you could just buy one for $10 and
Yeah.
take a single flower and put a thing. I don't know. I just think it's cute.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you can do it, like without even like going up to people. You can just do it in subtle ways, but
For
yeah.
real. Yeah, no, we had like 3 post-it notes, and me and Remy both like filled out a whole one, and like just the Bible verses, things that God puts on our heart.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we went around, and it felt like it felt like Christianity was illegal at that point, because we're like sneaking in, and
Sneaky.
like as soon as people leave their car, just put it on the hood or something like that, or somewhere they're gonna see it.
Yeah.
We went in stores and placed them all over the place.
Oh my gosh, so Owen and I, we went to Lake Beauty this past weekend, and we bought a like 24 pack of Dr. Pepper because
Oh
who
my
wouldn't?
gosh, yeah.
And Andy, Lathrop, he opened it up, and like a card slipped out, and it said like, what did it say? think it said like 3 nails, 1 cross equals 4 given, and on the back it was like a Bible verse and like a bunch of Bible stuff. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like someone must have like slipped it in, like hoping someone like would have forgot it and opened it up. But yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, we did the same thing for some bubblers, and I think we did Celsius, and then we put some in water bottles.
Oh,
so
dang.
when they take them home, they
that's
buy
smart.
them.
I want to do that now. Lauren, let's do it.
It's so much fun.
We go to Target.
Hey, you guys go to Target afterwards. You guys could.
Again, I've already been to Target twice today.
Wait, what?
I
thought you said you only went once.
Well, I went and then I went home and then I forgot something, so then I had to go back.
And now you forgot something again.
No.
What?
That was twice.
Oh, I thought you said you had to go back.
No, I'm saying we could go back and do it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
Oh,
so, now the long intro.
Yep, long intro.
It's okay. Ty, what is your Jesus moment of the week?
Jesus moment of the week. Oh my gosh. This was literally yesterday. I had another Jesus moment plan, but then I was like, this
I know, I have a couple, but there's one I can tie into a little later. But anyways, go on.
So yesterday I got the privilege to speak on stage at Youth. And
yeah, I know about that.
First of all, I think it went really well. There was a lot of people that were telling me I did a good job, which I really appreciate those people. And when I was sharing the message, when I was writing it beforehand, about 2 weeks ago, God's like, I want you to do an altar call too. And I'm thinking, okay, this is my first message I've ever preached on stage.
When people do it, it can be scary. Like, what if no one comes up?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, God, okay, my first message, right? And you want me to do an altar call.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay. So I, put it in there. I figure out what I'm going to say. And figure out where I'm going to be and stuff like that. And then we get to the point where, I'm getting close to the altar call. And I, be like, guys, if you want Jesus to take away your depression and anxiety, all this stuff like that, and I'm like, and you want to accept Jesus into your life, the title of my message was "Count Me In," and so I was like, you guys want to say, "Count me into Jesus" and give your life to Jesus. And then I asked you, come up front right now, and at first, everybody stayed still, and I was like,
yeah, well, I feel like everyone does. It always takes a minute, no matter who's preaching.
Right.
But no, I would be shaking.
Yeah, and finally someone stood up, and then another person did.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, this was the super cool part. Whole bunch of people started coming up, and over half of our youth group came up and gave their life to Jesus. And what's really powerful about it is, I got to speak in between the songs. Something got placed in my heart, and we were talking about. I told them about finding that devotional life and sharing what they got today, when they accepted Jesus in their life. Now it's their choice to go and step out in faith to share with their friends, their family. And so it was super cool. It was just so powerful. And seeing people in tears, worshiping, seeing everybody up in the front, and not, because if you guys don't know, in our youth group, a lot of times some people will go worship on the sides, but we had everybody up in the front worshiping and raising their hands and crying, some people on their knees, and it was just so powerful. Yeah. I think seeing that revival in our youth group and seeing that that message might have been the start of it, it's just something that I'm just like, oh my gosh, God, let's go. So that was my Jesus moment of the week.
That's so good.
It just, it was super powerful. It was literally less than 24 hours ago. Yeah. So that's kind of crazy.
No, that's really good.
But what about you, Lily? What was your Jesus moment?
Mine was, Owen and I were like, okay, we need to pick another devotional to start together. Yeah. And I think it was Monday or something. And so I'm like, let's just do Genesis, because why the heck not?
Hey, Genesis is good.
No, that's
it's interesting.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'll just finish my story first. But anyway, so we open up Genesis, and obviously everyone probably knows Genesis 1:1. Yeah. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But literally, just that one verse got me. The God who created the heavens and the earth, the God who, okay, I'm a big, sunset, sunrise kind of girl. I love a good sunset and nature and all that kind of stuff. But, the God who paints the sky every morning and night knows me? What? He loves me, he sees me, he chooses me. And one of the verses that I really like and I'm trying to memorize right now is Isaiah 31, or 30, no. let me start over. Isaiah 43:1, and it says, "I've called you by name. You are mine."
Yep.
And it's just like, oh,
Wow. That's a good verse.
I know. Yeah, that's not the full verse. That's just the end of it. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like
Even that one verse where it says, he has the hairs on your head numbered.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Yeah, he knows me. He loves me. He has a plan for me. Like
Yep.
he knows what I'm gonna be doing in 3 hours and 2 years, and like he just knows. Like he sees me, and it's just like
Yeah, it's crazy.
like
I
he's
think
he's such a big God, but he's so personal.
what's so cool is, so I go outside every night to close up our chicken coop, right? Because we don't want animals killing the chickens. And so
That's good.
but I go out, right, and when you see the stars and everything, and I look up and I see it, and I'm like, what? Like, this is the world, and the person who created it, like you said, knows me by name.
Like that's
I have a relationship with that
Yeah.
person. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and I feel like so many people like overlook Genesis or even Genesis 1:1 because
Right.
like, oh, we've heard it a million times. We know what happens, Adam and Eve, blah blah blah. But it's like I like encourage you guys to go back and read those ones anyways because or even if you've already read the Gospels 3 times, read it again. Like you can get new things out of it every single time, and every different season that you're in your life,
Yeah.
you can find something different that can help you and apply to your life. And so, yeah, but
Yeah, there's some of the guys in Monday night Bible study here, and they're old guys. I'm the youngest guy there. Like the oldest
now you're
one.
gonna get kicked out
I
for
think
calling
I think the oldest guy's like 91 years old.
savage.
So it's like the difference between 16 years old and 91 is kind of crazy. But what's so cool is, I've gotten so much from these guys over the past year, and one of the things they said we've read I don't remember which one it was. Whatever, one of them. Basically, it was like, I've read the Bible so many times, and every single time I get something new. Every time I read the same book, I get something new.
Yeah.
And I think that's so encouraging, because then we'll
Yeah.
think like, man, I already read that book. I don't need to read it again. But
You could have a new perspective
Right.
every time.
right, because there's something new. There's a different season you're going through.
Yeah, the
different
Bible
moment.
might not change, but you do, and so
Right.
it's like your new version might need that verse more than you did 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, don't underestimate, even those simple books that you think
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. That realization. And I love that verse once again. And I was thinking, this is like a little joke. Like when I said he has your hairs on your head numbered,
Yeah.
I was thinking I could probably count the hairs on Pastor Mike's head.
Oh, knee slapper.
If you guys don't know, Pastor Mike's bald, so that's why I was joking.
You're so funny.
I am hilarious sometimes.
Anyways, we should
Going on to
hop.
the actual.
We should hop into the actual thing that we want to, really discuss today. Being
Yeah.
lukewarm
Dude, yeah.
can be a hot topic.
We're thinking, what should we talk about? What are we wanting to talk about in this episode? And, being lukewarm, I think that's a problem that a lot of us Christians have.
100%.
Or a lot of people in the world to be like, yeah, I believe in God, but, I also want the world. And
Yep.
so, yeah, I was preaching on that a little bit actually last night too.
Yeah, Shelby told me that. I was going to ask you if you used our podcast notes as your sermon yesterday.
No, I actually did.
I'm
but,
kidding.
but
My
it was,
mom was like, don't say that on the actual recording. I was like, no, I'm going to.
Yeah, no, totally.
No, yeah.
It was, once again, it's powerful. When you talk about lukewarm Christians, it's like,
Everyone has been there.
right, we've all been
Without a
in that
doubt.
situation.
Yeah.
And it's getting out of that place of being lukewarm
Yeah.
and trying to be all in for Jesus. So what does being lukewarm even mean? Being a Christian.
Yeah.
So
Jump.
go ahead.
You want me to say
Lily.
it?
Yeah, what do you think?
Okay, well, anyways, should I read the actual definition that we have?
Yeah, go ahead. Go do the actual
Okay,
definition.
so from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says lukewarm means lacking conviction or half-hearted. And half-hearted, the definition of that means lacking heart, spirit, or interest.
Huh.
So, like, we were kind of talking about this the other day, but, like, I don't think anyone would be like, oh, I don't lack interest in Jesus. Like, I go to church, I do this. Like,
Right.
I have a Bible verse in my Instagram bio.
Yeah.
I don't lack. I'm not interested in Jesus. But
Right.
if you're lukewarm, then yeah, you kind of do, you know? Like, if you're lukewarm, then if you're not all in for Jesus, then there has to be a part of you that's not interested in him. If you're not, then if you're 100% interested in Jesus, then why aren't you just fully living for him?
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Like, we all desire having someone to love us.
yeah.
We all desire to have
That's
that
how
person.
we were created. Like, going back to
Right.
Genesis, Adam and Eve. Like,
Right.
Adam was alone and he wasn't doing well, so God sent
Right.
him someone else. So
we all desire God in some way. It doesn't matter how atheist you are.
yeah.
We all desire God. We all desire that love of God. And so I think that's what's so powerful is just like being like, man, like I can go to God and he loves me.
Yeah.
And being lukewarm, we kind of like just push off that. And we're like, yes, I know that God loves me. Yes, I want that. I want to get out of my addictions. I want to get out of my depression, my anxiety. But I also want to still live in the world.
Yeah, I also, I still want the addictions a little bit. Like, they're not
Right.
that bad, but, I
Right.
also want Jesus. So, yeah, being a Christian means going all in for Jesus.
Yep.
And inviting him into every part of your life, not just the ones
Right.
on Sundays and Wednesdays and the ones where you can, look all pretty and perfect. But, like,
Right.
even the darkest parts, like, I know a big thing people say is, like, you wouldn't clean up and then go get in the shower, right?
Yep.
You wouldn't get healthy and then go to the doctor. You would take a shower because you're dirty. You'd go to the doctor because you're sick. It's the same thing with Jesus. And even I have a hard time, like, remembering that,
Yeah.
you don't need to clean up before you go to Jesus. Like, that's what he's going to do. So,
Right. No, it's like so real though. A lot of us saying like, oh, I go to church on Sunday. I'm a Christian.
yeah.
Oh, I read my Bible once a month. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Or once a week. I'm a Christian. But that's not what makes us a Christian. That's when you get to that lukewarm stage. Is you're
Yeah.
like, well, because I do all this stuff, I'm a Christian.
I'm fine.
Right.
I'm saved.
Like something I was talking about last week. It was works not. Or is it, no, it's religion. No, it's a
Restart.
relationship over religion.
Yep.
Relationship over works. Jesus doesn't want you because he wants you to do all these works for him. He wants you because he wants you. He wants a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And as lukewarm Christians, a lot of the times they go and they say, oh, well, I got to do all this stuff for Jesus and then I'm okay. I just
Yeah.
have to read my Bible. I'm okay. I go to church. I'm okay. No, he doesn't want you to do that stuff. He still, sorry.
Those things aren't bad,
He
but
wants you to do those stuff, but he more wants a relationship with
Yeah.
you. He could care less about that stuff. He just wants you to have a relationship with him.
yeah.
And that sounds like very like, wait, what? Like going to church doesn't make me a Christian?
Yeah.
No, it's having a relationship with Jesus. That's what makes you a Christian.
Yeah, I actually want to read Matthew 7:21 through. I'll read through 24 because 24 is a good verse. It says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter into the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, 'Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles?' Then I will tell them plainly, 'I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers.' Therefore, Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on a rock."
Dude. Like that, like just
Like we just said, like,
yeah,
we drove out demons, we did miracles, we prophesied your name, we did all the works.
Yep.
But he wants to know us. He is a personal God, and he wants to have a true relationship with us.
Right.
Regardless of the miracles that we performed or the demons that we casted out or how many times we serve in a month, like all those things. Yes, they're important, but they shouldn't be above the intimate relationship with Jesus.
Yeah. It's that. Once again, it's the relationship over religion.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who look at it and they say, I want religion, but they don't want they're going for religion. They're not going for
they're missing
relationship.
the point. And I feel like that passage like scares a lot of people, and I know there's times I'm kind of like, ooh, like,
Yeah.
he never knew me. But it says like, whoever does the will of my Father in heaven. And so like, if we're doing his will, which is having a relationship with him and then following what he says, then we're doing his will and we'll be okay.
Right. Just following after God and staying in a relationship. Well, guys, this is an amazing conversation so far, but we're going to be right back after the break.
Stepping aside from the episode really quick, I wanted to share with you guys some things that we are connected with as the Youth POV podcast. In Matthew chapter 18, verse 20, Jesus says, "For 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am with them." And throughout the Bible, it talks about the importance of community. So if you're not sure who this Jesus guy is, or if you don't have a Christian community, Maranatha Assemblies of God in Forest Lake is a great church to get plugged into, with Bible studies, leadership teams, and so much more for all different age groups. For more information, you can go to realchurch.org. Now, back to the episode.
Welcome back, guys. So we've basically got done talking a little bit about what lukewarm Christians are.
Yep.
Right? And that we need a relationship with God over religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, Lily, do you want to kind of kick off what our next question is?
Well, let's read the Revelation first, because
sure, yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Well, no, yeah, because before we go into that, we were like, we should, what does the Bible say about being lukewarm? And we just mentioned Matthew 7. Ty, do you want to read a Revelation? Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Let me look it up real quick. I'm looking.
Yeah, it's a
real simple one. Actually, wait, I have this literally tagged in my Bible, guys.
Yes, sir.
You see, this is the importance of having little tabs in your Bible, because then you can just find them, those verses that stick out to you.
Yeah, anyway, so Revelation 3:15-16.
Yeah, so this is what it says. "I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth." Whoa, that's
also a scary verse.
It sounds weird. What does he mean by spit you out of my mouth? What that means is
scary.
You won't enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. He's saying if your name is not written in the Lamb's Book of Life, then you won't be accepted into heaven. So if you're lukewarm, you're not a Christian. Yeah. Which that's a brutal verse. That there hit me hard when I was starting out in my Christian walk with God.
Yeah. Okay, there's 2 things I want to touch on quickly, especially from that verse. So if you guys have seen the movie War Room, it's such a good movie.
Yep.
It really challenged my prayer life and encouraged me to grow in it. But anyways, if you haven't seen it, I'll give you a little backstory to the thing. But anyways, so basically there's this one girl, she's a wife, she's having problems with her husband, and she's a realtor. So she goes to this one older lady's house, and she's trying to sell her house, whatever. And the older lady becomes somewhat of a mentor to her. And so one time they're having coffee at the older lady's house, and the older lady's asking her about her faith, her prayer life, and she's like, I go to church sometimes, I pray sometimes, I read my Bible every now and then, and whatever. And then the older lady brings her a lukewarm cup of coffee, and she literally goes like, I don't remember the old lady's name, but she's like, do you like your coffee lukewarm? And basically it was just such a good example. It's like, I'm sure a lot of people like their coffee hot, like hot mochas, lattes. Yeah. I like my coffee cold, on ice, like an iced coffee. Do you know anyone who likes their coffee room temperature, like kind of cold, kind of hot? Like, I know I don't.
I do. No, I'm joking.
Okay, well, Ty just ruined the example. This is, no. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
She was pointing out the importance of, like, God doesn't like us being lukewarm. If you're either all in for Jesus or you're not, and that's kind of what this verse is talking about. So, yeah, I thought that was a really good. I just watched it for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I was like, dang.
Yeah, the old lady that's in it is also in another one. I don't remember what it's called. Crap. Me and Remy and some of the boys.
Is it called The Forge?
The Forge, yep.
Okay, that is her. Because I was like, she looks familiar too. Because I watched The Forge first. That's a good movie too.
And she's a prayer warrior. I'm
yes, sir. Ooh. Yeah, she's funny. I want to beat her when I'm She's so cute.
Oh, Lord. No,
that's literally what she did.
For real.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, well, I actually, I kind of mentioned this story a while back. I don't remember the specific episode, but I talked to somebody on the podcast about the fence story.
Yeah.
This fence story, real quick recap of it, is there's this guy, he goes to sleep, he wakes up, there's a fence. One side's Jesus, one side's the devil. On the devil, he gets pleasure, and on Jesus, it might be hard persecution. But on the devil's side, it leads to hell. Mm-hmm. On God's side, it leads to heaven. Now, one has a temporary satisfaction, the other one is not satisfaction, but at the end there is.
Yep.
And this guy, he goes and he says, you know what, I'm going to stand in the middle of the fence. So he's half in with Jesus, and he's half in with the devil. And he's like, man, I'm getting pleasure now, and I also have eternal life at the end. And then all of a sudden it goes black. And this guy wakes up, and he has chains around him, and the devil's dragging him. And he's like, wait, no, I didn't choose you. And the devil's laughing, and the devil says, don't you know that I own the fence too?
Yeah.
And I think that's just like what that means is the fence is lukewarm.
Yeah.
The fence is lukewarm Christians. It's one or the other. Jesus doesn't want you to be half in, half out.
Well, part
with
of it
him.
is like the world will pull you in. Satan
Right.
will grab you and do everything he can to pull you into the worldly, evil, wicked, dark things. But Jesus, he's not going to. He's going to stand there and let you come to him.
Right.
You know, because he's not a control of psycho boss God, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, he's gonna let you have free will and give you that choice, but the
Yeah.
world will do everything they can on social media, friends, you know, all that kind of thing to try to pull you into the darkness. And yeah, that's exactly what Satan did in that story.
Yeah. So being lukewarm, right? We all got to that moment in life where we're kind of in that lukewarm stage, like not fully committed to God, but still trying to follow Him. But it's, you know, you're still with the world too. What was the moment in your life, or was there a moment in your life that or something that helped you get out of being lukewarm?
Helped me get out of being lukewarm. I feel like it's just kind of the realization that I was.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah. And then just realizing that I did really want to fully surrender to Him and actually live for Him.
Yeah. No, I mean it, and when you get to that moment where you realize it, it's what do you do with it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was actually reading in 1 Samuel the other day, and it was like in chapters 4 and 5, the Philistines stole the Ark of the Covenant or whatever, and they went to their like temple and put it next to their god. I don't remember what it was called, but basically their statue of a god. And they came back the next morning, and their god statue had fallen on its face.
Yeah.
And so they picked it back up, and then they left, and then they came back the next morning, and it fell again. And part of it was broken, and they were like, it's because like the Ark of God is here and whatever. And that like made me think like, what idols in my life are being pushed down that I keep picking back up, that I'm putting over God or trying to put God right next to it. You know, and, like I can have both of these things, but like what does God keep knocking down that, you know, that I need to realize that I need to keep it down and have Him be the higher one. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and since you went all in for Jesus, when you realized, like, man, what am I picking up that God's trying to tear down in my life? And you noticed that, and you started making a change in your life. What have you noticed that has changed because of that?
I feel like just having true joy. And like I feel like every time before I go into like a store or just any place, I kind of just get this feeling like, oh, like I'm excited to like show them the love of Jesus just by like how I speak to them, and like just having that motivation to be kind to people and that kind of thing. So yeah, but like I said, just true joy and peace, and just like having a firm foundation, you know, knowing I can go back to Him and that I'm okay, you know, no matter what happens.
Yeah, no, and I mean, same kind of for me. It's the like being like, man, I'm the difference now.
Yeah.
Like that sounds weird, but like man, I
you
know
can be the light
truth
for
now,
Him.
and like, I had that motivation then.
Yeah, same.
From when I started changing things in my life, and I stopped picking up those things that He was trying to tear down, like you were saying. I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And like being like, man, now that I'm committed to Jesus, the motivation to show others the love of Jesus really changed.
And like not even having to like say like Jesus loves you, whatever, but just like being kind, smiling, like just like having a normal conversation. Like they act like for the most part, like all like retail workers or restaurant people, like they'll be like, how are you? And be like, good, how are you? Like just like, you know, like make them feel like they're a real person, and just make them feel seen and loved, and just that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, 100%. And just going, once again, it's going all in for him and replacing those idols with Jesus.
Yeah. And like I said, like, you have to realize it first, which can be hard. Like, reflect on your own life. Like, is Jesus the number one priority for you? And all of us can say at times he's not, and, you know, we're imperfect, so... But it's, like we said on the last episode with Caden, like, what are we going to do about it, like, when we mess up? Like, when we realize, like, God has fallen to maybe second or third, like, are we just going to keep him there? Or are we going to put him back on top where he belongs and start disciplining ourselves and prioritizing him again?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
And, you know, being on this walk as going all in for Jesus, from being a lukewarm Christian to going all in and being a true Christian following Jesus, was there a moment in your life where Jesus basically slapped you in the face and was like, wake up or do this?
Yeah.
Was there a moment in your life where Jesus slapped you in the face?
Yeah. It was kind of it was about a year ago, before our little breakthrough, you could say. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, it was before that, so I was pretty lukewarm at the time. It was last year at Women's Retreat, and the theme was approved. Like, we are approved by Jesus. The main verse was Galatians 1:10. Am I now trying to win the approval of man or God, or something like that? I don't know for sure, and I was really trying to fit in and please people of the world, and the people I was hanging out with, and I was really trying to talk like them, act like them, dress like them, have like the social media like them, like just like all that kind of thing, and I was really trying to be approved by them and get their approval. And obviously I'm still not perfect now, and there's always times where I'm trying to please other people, but at the women's retreat, like, just having that, I don't know, just kind of realization that, like, what I was doing was I was trying to seek the approval of man and the world and people around me. And so I kind of just had that realization, like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I wasn't being fulfilled by them, you know, like, I wasn't even being treated like 100% like a friend should be treated, you know, like, I was just being left empty by, you know, constantly chasing the standard of perfection that the world expects of you, but obviously we're never going to achieve it. And so like I said from the first Samuel one, I kind of was just like, and actually reading this made me think of that story, and that's kind of like what I wanted to use for this example, is because it's like I kept trying to put other people's standards and ideas, and I care so much what other people think of me, and like I said, I'm kind of still struggling with that, but just kind of realizing that, like, his opinion is the only one that matters. Like, in 20 years, like, am I really gonna care what those, you know, girls from my old high school thought of me, or my middle school, or, you know, like, even, and just using that as motivation and kind of just be confident in who I am in Jesus and not be embarrassed by things, you know. And so just kind of, it was just a good reminder, just like, am I gonna keep picking up the idol of, you know, people pleasing and putting it over God pleasing, you know what I mean? So but ever since then, and then we had our breakthrough, and I feel like that whole, like, 3 months was kind of just a big transformation for me, just like realizing I needed to really lock in on my relationship with Jesus. And I had that kind of, like, I really started to comprehend, like, I'm a big thinker, like, I overthink a lot, and I just, not even necessarily like bad things, but like the Bible, like, I'll overthink about the Bible, just like what things mean and stuff like that. And so, like, I was just always constantly thinking, like, oh, like, I need, like, Jesus is a real thing, like, I need to, like, this is serious, like, I need to, like, lock in my relationship with him and start that. So long story short, just kind of just realizing that the opinions of man don't matter necessarily, and that God is the only one, obviously in moderation. Like, if you have godly people around you who are trying to build you up and encourage you, like, those ones obviously matter as long as they're rooted on scripture, but just in the sense that worldly things are going to pass away, like, and if I'm focused on those things, then I'm going to pass away too, you know. So just kind of realizing my worth in Jesus and trying to seek his approval instead of anyone else's. So I mean, that's powerful. It's
like Ben talked about this a little bit in SLT last night. He was like, the people around you will influence you and how you act.
100%.
And of course, that's like not the 100% exact same as that, but you had the people pleasing, right? And
and of course, like all those, like especially if you're a big people pleaser, like you're gonna fall into, even if they're not necessarily bad people, like the people I used to hang out with weren't necessarily bad people, but they weren't leading me in the way of the Lord, and so, no, I mean,
and once again, that's good. It's putting, where in my life am I, do I have things that are leading me down a bad road? And I think a lot of lukewarm Christians have that. They have that place in their life where they're like,
well, I'm sure they're hanging around lukewarm Christians too.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me too. But and like we said, like the first step of getting out of being a lukewarm Christian is like realizing that you are putting things above God. And if you realize that, you've already done like half of the work. Now you just have to like choose if you want to go all in for him. But okay, Ty, your turn. When did Jesus slap you in the face?
Oh man. Well, I would say this was when I gave my life to Jesus. About like 4 months later was when I kind of like fully started more committing to Jesus and going all in for him. Kinda. But he kept putting me, he gave me a really big conviction beforehand. Before I was a Christian, I said some pretty mean things to a lot of different people. I did a lot of things to people, and I was just mean, and so I had a lot of people who had a bad view on me, and I held on to this like oh man, I said this stuff to them, so
caring what they thought of you,
and that all this stuff, and so. God really started to convict me, and he's like, you need to apologize. You need to go say you're sorry and say that you shouldn't have done that stuff. And so going on from there, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing that, because that's hard. I don't want to do that.
It's scary.
And so, and so basically I was, on my walk with God, trying to get closer to him. I'd listen to some sermon. Well, every sermon I would listen to, guess what I would hear? I would hear, you need to ask for forgiveness for those of you who have hurt. And I'm like, yep, off this sermon, we're going to go do another one. And that's the exact same thing. Okay, this happened for about a week straight. And it was just going on. And everywhere I saw it'd say, forgive, ask for forgiveness. I'm like, bro, what? Okay, fine. And so finally I was like, okay, God, you're right. I'm wrong. I'll try to ask for forgiveness. And now this was hard. This took me about 5 months to actually complete all the forgiveness. So I went to people, talked to them personally, and I told people, man, I'm sorry for what I did. It was wrong of me. And what's been cool is I've been able to build some friendships since then with some people. Some people, they're still unwilling to forgive me. Some over time have been able to forgive me. But what that was is, since then, from that moment where I was like, okay, I need to get rid of this, and God's really just like, he could not let me avoid it. He's like, nope, you need to do it. And so since then I've really seen freedom in my personal life. Like, I don't keep anything hidden in my life. There's not something in my life that somebody does not know. I try to be really open about it, because when you have things hidden in your life, that's when darkness starts to creep in. And so having all that stuff, holding on to all that stuff, being like, man, I'm such a bad person for all those things I said, and I'm not going to ask for forgiveness. That really was like taking over my life, kind of just building up a lot inside. And so finally, when I let it out and I told people I'm sorry, that's when I started to see my relationship with God start spiking up.
I was gonna say, like, you don't know what's on the other side of that. Like, you don't know what's on the other side of your obedience, like the blessings that could come from it, and the next steps that he could lead you to. So it's like, and even if not, just having the discipline to be obedient is such a good characteristic to implement into your life. Right.
And what God, so something else that God was kind of telling me at that time was, he's like, and now this went for a while. Like I said, it went for like 5 months. When about like after our thing happened, it was kind of close to when I was getting done. Telling people, you were one of the people that was like, after I did that, during the time when God's telling me to forgive people. So it just added onto the pile. And finally, once I was able to be done and forgive everybody, then God really placed in my heart, he said, don't be in conflict with people. And what I mean by that is he said, don't say like try to cause things with people.
Yeah,
don't try to cause drama.
Yeah.
And different things like that. And he's like, be like one of the verses. I can't remember the specific words. Do your best to be at peace with everyone.
Yeah, is that in
Romans?
Okay.
Romans 12:8. I could be wrong, but don't quote me on that. But it's But yeah, no. Since then, I've been doing my best in this past year, just really trying to be at peace with everyone, not having anyone that I'm at conflict with. If someone has something against me, I go to them and I say, dude, what do you got? Like, I'm here.
And not
I'm
in a way that
listen.
you're like trying to please people, but in the way that you just want to, I don't know.
Right.
Be like,
we're all like, especially believers. That's what God really convicted me. He's like, you should not be angry
prideful
or like
you just be a good example of Jesus.
Like he said,
just be gracious and kind.
You are brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yeah.
You should be happy and joyful towards everyone.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh God, okay. Yep. And so, God's really worked on me this past year, and I can definitely see the difference. I know people have around me been telling me they've seen a difference, which has been really powerful for me, and my relationship with God's been thriving since then. So
amen.
It's been super cool. I got a stupid question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a stupid question. This is great. Lauren, you can actually answer this one too if you want to. How many chairs do you think are in the ocean right now? On estimate.
Why chairs?
Probably too many.
I don't know.
I feel like there'd be more like wheels.
How many chairs do you think are in the ocean right now?
No, I'm not gonna say that. Probably too many.
427.
Did you look it up?
No,
you don't even have an answer
it's
for
just a
us?
shower thought.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, well.
How many do you think?
I don't know. Maybe 553.
I think 4,722,000.
Oh, okay.
422.
Okay, before we end this episode, Ty, what are your two biggest, what are two practical tips that you could give to someone who's feeling lukewarm and, they want to get out of the cycle of being lukewarm? What would you say to that person? Your two top practical tips. Going beyond, read your Bible every day, which is obviously so important, guys, but, practical things that people can start implementing in their lives.
Yeah, my first one is listen to conviction.
Yep.
Listen to conviction. Conviction, God's going to convict you. You ask him to convict you, he will. And so looking for those moments in your life, and the conviction will lead to not being a lukewarm Christian.
Surrender.
Right.
If you're being convicted about, for me personally, I was convicted about trying to win the approval of my friends.
Right.
I was convicted by that, and that led me to realize, it's because I'm not prioritizing Jesus and I'm prioritizing them over.
Yeah.
So, that's good.
Yeah. So, like I said, listening to conviction.
Yeah.
And then my second one that I could give is stay in a relationship with Jesus. Jesus is everything. Everyone who I talk to, if I've ever talked to you and I'm talking about Jesus with you, and if you're struggling in any way, one thing I always say, and I never will stray away from this, is stay with Jesus. I don't reading your Bible, praying, worshiping, going to church, being in community with believers, all that stuff is foundational. It seems so basic and so there's why everybody's saying that, but it's true.
Yeah.
You stay in relationship with Jesus, you'll find that you won't be lukewarm.
Yeah.
So those are the two things that I could give. Lily, if you had any two to say.
I would say just taking away from what I said again, are the people around you supporting your faith in the way that it's either way, are they drawing you away from Jesus? Are they pulling you more into the world? Or are they pushing you to be more like Jesus?
Yeah.
Like we said a couple episodes ago when we were talking about godly communities, like, it's important to have one. And like Ty said, like, who you hang around, like, you will become.
Yep.
Bad or good. So it's like,
Right.
that's really important. Like, you need to, you know, take a real look at your surroundings and who you're surrounding yourself with, and decide whether or not they're helping you with Jesus, you know? Like, personally, like, I've had to take a step back from some friendships, from, you know, my childhood to now, like, just noticing that, you know, they're not influencing me in the right way.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, they're not necessarily bad people, but they're bad for me in a way, and they're bad for my relationship with the Lord. So yeah. People around you, they're important.
Yeah, so once again, I challenge you, any listeners, if you feel like you've been lukewarm, half and half out with God, from now on, try your best to go all in for Jesus.
Yeah, surrender everything.
Because, guys, that's when you're going to see the breakthrough. That's when you're going to see addictions
when you let
break.
everything go.
Yep, that's when you're going to see depression leaves, anxiety leaves, he'll start healing you in so many ways you cannot think.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys. Well, Lily, do you want to talk about the next episode? Just like
So, guys, we have some very fun episodes coming up. The next 3 are going to be just so fun. We have special guests coming on. Some you know, some you might not know. Some are local here at Maranatha. So we encourage you, stay tuned. We're so excited this summer. So many fun things coming up. So yeah,
I just want to say, if I could say anything, ladies, mainly you guys, ladies, tune in next episode.
Yeah, you'll see it. We're so excited. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining us today.
Yep, I'm Ty.
I'm Lily.
And remember to be led by the word
and not by the world.
And we'll see you guys next time on the Youth POV podcast.